Kade Mercer had killed 17 people before his 28th birthday, and tonight would make 18. He watched Lira Vance through the scope of his rifle, perched 3 buildings away from the downtown art gallery where she laughed among crystal champagne flutes and designer dresses. The dossier said she was a freelance consultant. The payment, $200,000, suggested she was much more than that. Kade didn't ask questions. Questions made you hesitate, and hesitation made you dead. Lira moved through the crowd with calculated grace, her dark hair swept into an elegant twist, her emerald dress catching the light. She was beautiful in that dangerous way that made men stupid. Kade had learned long ago not to see targets as people. They were objectives, problems to solve. His finger rested on the trigger, breath steady, heartbeat controlled. The shot was clear, easy. He'd be gone before her body hit the marble floor. Then Lira did something unexpected. She looked directly at him. Not toward the building, at him. Through 300 yards of darkness and glass, her eyes locked onto his position with impossible precision. She smiled, not the polite smile she'd been giving the art patrons. This was something else entirely, something knowing. She raised her champagne glass in his direction. Kade's pulse spiked. Impossible. No one could see him from that distance, not in his position, not with his training, yet she stood there holding his gaze, waiting. His phone buzzed, unknown number. "Hello, Kade," a woman's voice purred. "That's a beautiful rifle you have pointed at my head, Russian-made if I'm not mistaken, the SVD Dragunov, a bit old-fashioned but I appreciate a classic." Kade's blood went cold. "Who is this?" "The woman you're supposed to kill. I'm disappointed, actually. I expected someone better." Novik's getting sloppy in his old age. Novik, his handler, a name Kade had never spoken to anyone. "Pull that trigger," Lira continued, "and 12 snipers currently aimed at you from 6 different positions will turn your brain into abstract art. Or, and this is the interesting option, you can meet me in the alley behind the gallery. 5 minutes. Come alone, come unarmed, and maybe we'll both survive the night." "Why would I?" "Because the man who hired you to kill me is the same man who's already paid someone else to kill you. Check your account, Kade. The money's already there. You're not the hunter tonight, you're the loose end." The line went dead. Kade pulled out his encrypted phone and checked his offshore account. 200,000 had been deposited an hour ago, payment for a completed job, his job, but Lira was still alive. He looked through the scope again. Lira waggled her fingers at him, then disappeared into the crowd. Kade had 3 choices: take the shot and die, run and spend his life looking over his shoulder, or walk into what was obviously a trap. He chose the trap, at least then he'd see it coming. The alley smelled of rain and rotting vegetables. Kade arrived with a backup pistol pressed against his spine despite Lira's instructions. Trust was a currency he couldn't afford. She was already there, leaning against the brick wall like she was waiting for a cab instead of a trained killer. The emerald dress seemed absurd in the grime of the alley, yet somehow she made it work. "You came armed," she said without looking at him. "I would have been insulted if you hadn't." "Who are you?" Kade kept his distance, scanning rooftops and windows. "Really?" "Lira Vance, freelance problem solver. I make difficult situations disappear." "That's what it says in the file." "The file is mostly accurate." She turned to face him, and in the dim light he noticed her eyes were an unusual amber color. Predator eyes. "I clean up messes for people with money and secrets. Sometimes that means moving money, sometimes data, sometimes bodies. I'm very good at my job." "Not good enough to avoid a hit." "Oh, the hit was inevitable." Lira pushed off the wall and walked toward him. Kade's hand moved instinctively toward his gun, but she raised her hands in mock surrender. "I knew Novik would send someone 3 weeks ago. I've been tracking his operation since February. I know about the safe house in Prague, the contact in Dubai, and the unfortunate incident in Vancouver that you definitely didn't commit." Except Kade had committed it 6 months ago, a job so clean it didn't officially exist. "What do you want?" "To hire you." Kade laughed. "You just said someone trying to kill me." "Someone is definitely trying to kill you. Novik doesn't leave witnesses and you've seen too much. He's already activated your replacement, a woman named Senna Holt. Very efficient, very ruthless. She'll kill you within 72 hours. Then why would I work for you instead of disappearing?" Lira's smile was razor-sharp. Because I'm not offering you a job, Kade, I'm offering you revenge. Novik destroyed your life once before, I can help you destroy his. Kade's hand froze halfway to his gun. What are you talking about? Maya Torrance, your partner 6 years ago, the investigation that went wrong. They told you she was corrupt, that she'd sold out to the cartel. You believed them because the evidence was perfect. Too perfect. The name hit him like a physical blow. Maya, his partner, his friend, dead because she'd allegedly betrayed their unit, forcing Kade to choose between duty and loyalty. He'd chosen duty and the guilt had consumed him, pushing him out of federal service and into the dark. Maya was innocent, Lira said softly. Novik framed her to cover his own trafficking operation. He needed someone to blame and she was convenient. You were the loose end then, too, but useful, so he recruited you. You're lying. I have proof, videos, communications, financial records, everything you need to know that the last 6 years of your life have been built on a lie. She pulled a flash drive from somewhere in that impossible dress. It's all here, take it, verify it yourself. When you're ready to burn Novik's world to the ground, call me. She pressed the drive into his palm, her fingers were cold. Why, Kade asked, what's Novik to you? He killed someone I loved, Lira said, and for the first time her mask cracked. Pain flickered across her face, raw and real. And marked me for death, so I marked him for something worse. I'm going to take everything from him before I take his life, but I can't do it alone. She walked past him, heels clicking on wet pavement. 72 hours, Kade. After that, you're dead or you're with me. Choose wisely. Kade spent 18 hours verifying the flash drive's contents from a motel room that rented by the hour and didn't ask questions. Every file checked out, every timestamp aligned, every piece of evidence pointed to the same devastating truth: Maya had been innocent. Novik had framed her, murdered her, and then recruited Kade as an assassin to keep him controlled and isolated. The rage that filled Kade was cold and precise, the kind of anger that didn't explode but calcified into something permanent. At hour 19 his phone buzzed, unknown number, but he knew who it would be. You verified it, Lira said, not a question. Yes. Are you in? Kade stared at the photograph of Maya on his laptop screen, bright-eyed and alive, before Novik had destroyed her, before Novik had destroyed him. What's the plan? Meet me at the address I'm sending, come prepared for war. The address led to an industrial warehouse in the Port District. Inside, Kade found something he didn't expect: an operation, computers, weapons, surveillance equipment, and 3 other people working with focused intensity. Welcome to the team, Lira said, appearing from behind a server rack. She traded the emerald dress for tactical pants and a fitted black shirt. Somehow she looked even more dangerous. Let me introduce you, that's Oren Dane, tech specialist and former NSA analyst. The woman building explosives is Tessa Klein, demolitions expert and Novik's ex-wife. Kade looked at the elegant woman carefully wiring detonators. Ex-wife. I have excellent reasons for wanting him dead, Tessa said without looking up. Her voice carried an upper-class British accent. He tried to kill me on our honeymoon, very poor form. And that's Rhett Corvin, Lira continued, gesturing to a lean man cleaning a sniper rifle. Former Marine, current ghost, Novik murdered his sister. We're all ghosts here, Oren said, looking up from his screens. All marked for death, all wanting the same thing. Which is, Kade asked. To make Novik suffer, Lira's amber eyes gleamed. He built an empire on secrets, blackmail, and murder. We're going to expose every crime, steal every asset, and destroy every relationship he's cultivated over 30 years. Then, when he's lost everything and everyone, when he's utterly alone and broken, we kill him, Tessa finished cheerfully. Kade set his bag down. Where do we start? Lira smiled. With the woman hunting you. Senna Holt thinks she's coming to kill you tomorrow night. Instead, we're going to capture her, turn her, and use her to get close to Novik. He trusts her. That trust will be his first mistake. And if she won't turn, then she dies, Lira said simply. This is war, Kade. There are no innocent bystanders. Senna Holt was good. Kade had to admit that as he watched her systematic approach through Oren's surveillance feeds. She tracked him to the warehouse district, identified potential entry points, and was currently waiting for darkness to make her move. She had no idea she was walking into a trap. She's confident, Rhett observed from his sniper position on the adjacent building. Maybe too confident. Novik's best always are, Lira said. She stood beside Kade in the control room watching multiple screens, until they meet someone better. The plan was elegant in its simplicity. Let Senna enter, let her think she had the advantage, then close the trap. Capture, interrogate, convert, or kill. At 9:47 p.m., Senna made her move. She came through the eastern entrance, moving with practiced silence. Kade had to respect her efficiency. She cleared corners like a professional, weapon-ready, senses alert. She was maybe 30 with short blonde hair and the kind of athletic build that spoke of serious training. Approaching the kill zone, Oren whispered into comms. Senna entered the main warehouse floor where a single light illuminated a chair. On the chair sat Kade's jacket, arranged to look like someone was sitting. Old trick but effective. Senna didn't fall for it. She stopped, head tilting, reading the scene. Then she spoke, voice cutting through the silence. Clever, using yourself as bait while watching from somewhere safe. But you made a mistake, Kade. You left heat signatures in the control room. 3 people, maybe 4, you brought backup. She raised her gun and fired 6 shots into the control room windows. Kade and Lira hit the floor as glass exploded above them. Plan B, Lira shouted. Lights flooded the warehouse, steel doors slammed shut on every exit, and from the shadows Rhett, Tessa, and 2 other operatives Kade hadn't met emerged with weapons drawn. Senna stood in the center, surrounded, evaluating her options with remarkable calm. 8 against 1, she said. Novik definitely underpaid me for this job. Drop the weapon, Lira commanded, stepping into view. We don't want to kill you, Senna, we want to hire you. Senna's laugh was genuine. You're the Vance woman, Novik's prize target, and you want to hire me to kill him? Yes. Why would I betray the man who's made me rich? Because he's going to kill you too, Kade said, emerging from cover. That's what he does, we're all just temporary tools. Something flickered in Senna's expression. You have proof of this. Show her, Lira said. Oren projected a video onto the warehouse wall. It showed Novik in his office speaking to an unknown associate. Senna, becoming too expensive, too confident. After the Mercer job, retire her, permanently, use poison, make it look like an accident. The footage was dated 2 days ago. Senna's gun lowered slightly. That could be faked. It's not, Oren said. I can show you the metadata, the source, everything, it's real. For a long moment, Senna stood frozen. Then she did something unexpected. She laughed. That absolute bastard, she said, lowering her weapon completely. I just bought a house. Do you know how annoying it is to die right after purchasing property? So you're in, Lira asked. I'm in, but I want double whatever you're paying everyone else, and immunity for my past work. Done. Senna holstered her gun. So what's the actual plan? Lira's smile was predatory. To give Novik exactly what he fears most: exposure, betrayal, and a very public death. Novik's empire relied on 3 pillars: blackmail, money laundering, and political connections. Lira's plan was to destroy them systematically, starting with his largest blackmail target, Senator Hale Corman. Corman, been paying Novik $200,000 monthly for 6 years, Oren explained, pulling up files. Novik has videos of Corman with underage girls at a party in 2019. Fake videos, actually deepfakes before deepfakes were mainstream, but Corman doesn't know that. We expose the videos as fake, Kade said. Corman stops paying and Novik loses his political protection. Exactly, Lira confirmed. Senna, you're going to deliver a message to Novik. Tell him the Mercer job is complete. You'll need proof. She tossed Kade a bag. Inside was a severed finger, still bloody. Kade stared. Whose is this? Prosthetic, Tessa said proudly. I made it this morning, very realistic, no. Disturbingly so. Senna took the bag. What's my actual objective? Plant a surveillance device in Novik's office. This one, Lira handed her what looked like a pen. It'll give us access to his encrypted communications. He sweeps for bugs daily. This one's undetectable, new tech, military grade, he won't find it. The meeting with Novik happened the next afternoon at his legitimate business front, a private investment firm in a steel and glass tower downtown. Senna went in alone, wearing a wire. Back at the warehouse, the team listened. "It's done," Senna's voice came through clearly. "Mercer's dead, here's proof." A pause, then Novik's voice, smooth and cold. "Efficient work as always, the payments already transferred. Appreciate it. Any new assignments?" "Not currently, take a few days, rest, you've earned it." "Will do." Footsteps, a door closing. They waited until Senna was clear of the building before Oren started typing furiously. "Device is active, I'm in his system, downloading everything, emails, files, contact lists, this is, oh my god." "What?" Lira leaned over his shoulder. "He's got files on everyone. Senators, judges, police commissioners, CEOs, this isn't just blackmail, it's a complete shadow government." "Download it all," Lira ordered, "every byte." 3 hours later they had everything. Thousands of files documenting decades of corruption, murder, and manipulation. "Senator Corman first," Lira decided. "We send him proof his videos are fake along with evidence of who created them. We give him an out, testify against Novik in exchange for immunity." "He'll take it," Tessa said. "Politicians always do." The package was delivered that night. By morning, Senator Corman had contacted the FBI, offering to cooperate in exchange for protection. News broke by noon, Senator involved in major criminal investigation. By evening, Novik's political protection was crumbling. "First domino," Lira said, watching the news. "Now we hit his money." Novik's money laundering operation ran through 12 shell companies and 4 countries. Oren spent 3 days tracing every transaction, every account, every hidden asset. "It's all here," he announced. $2 billion moved through cryptocurrencies, art purchases, real estate, all traceable now. "We can't just expose it," Kade said. "We need to take it." Lira smiled. "Exactly what I was thinking." The operation took a week to execute. They created false accounts, forged documents, and manipulated transactions. Slowly, systematically, they drained Novik's empire. $1 billion disappeared into encrypted accounts. The other billion they donated to organizations fighting human trafficking, funding victims' advocacy groups, and supporting anti-corruption efforts. "Poetic justice," Tessa said, "his blood money actually helping people." But they knew Novik would retaliate. The question was when and how. The answer came on a Tuesday morning. Kade was at the warehouse when his phone rang. Novik's number. "Answer it," Lira said. "Let's hear what he has to say." Kade put it on speaker. "Hello, Novik." "Kade, I'm disappointed. I thought you were smarter than this." "Then what?" "Surviving your assassination attempt." A pause. "You've been busy." "The senator, my accounts, very impressive, but you've made a critical error." "Which is?" "You trusted Lira Vance." Kade looked at Lira, who'd gone very still. "What are you talking about?" Kade asked. "Lira didn't tell you the whole truth. Yes, I marked her for death, but do you know why? Ask her about Jakarta, ask her about the children." The line went dead. "What is he talking about?" Kade demanded. Lira's face had gone pale. "It's not what you think." "Then explain." "Jakarta was a job 3 years ago. I was hired to move money for what I thought was a legitimate relief organization. It was, they were trafficking children. By the time I realized dozens had been moved across borders, I tried to stop it, but..." "But what?" "I was too late to save them all. Novik was behind it. He set me up, used me. When I discovered the truth, I tried to expose him. That's when he marked me." The room was silent. "How many?" Tessa asked quietly. "How many children?" 47, Lira's voice broke. "I saved 19, the rest I was too late." Kade stared at her. "You should have told us." "Would you have trusted me if you'd known? If you'd known I'd been part of..." "You were deceived," Rhett interrupted. "Novik's specialty is manipulation. We've all been his tools at some point." "But I should have known," Lira whispered. "I should have checked, should have verified. Those children died because I was careless." "Those children died because Novik is a monster," Senna said firmly, "which is exactly why we're going to destroy him." Kade studied Lira's face, the guilt, the pain, the determination. He understood it. He'd carried the same weight for 6 years over Maya. "Novik thinks this revelation will break us apart," he said. "We prove him wrong, we finish this." Lira looked up, eyes wet. "You still trust me?" I trust that you want him dead as much as I do, that's enough. The final phase began with a simple message delivered to Novik's office: meet me where it started, midnight, come alone. The location was the warehouse district where Novik had first recruited Kade 6 years ago, where he'd convinced a grieving, guilt-ridden federal agent that Maya had betrayed everything. Where the lies had begun. Novik arrived exactly at midnight, flanked by 6 armed guards despite the instruction to come alone. Predictable. What he didn't predict was that the entire building was rigged with explosives, that every entrance was covered by snipers, and that his guards had already been bribed to turn on him. The guards seized him the moment he entered, stripping his weapons and forcing him to his knees in the center of the warehouse. Lira emerged from the shadows, followed by Kade, Tessa, Senna, Rhett, and Oren. "Hello, Novik," Lira said. "It's time to settle accounts." Novik's calm facade cracked. "You can't kill me, I have insurance. If I die, everything I know gets released." "Already handled," Oren said cheerfully. "Every dead man's switch you created, every automated system, every backup disabled. You're utterly alone." "What do you want? Money? I can get you money." "We already took your money," Tessa said. "All 2 billion, well, we gave half away, but the principal stands." "We don't want money," Lira said. "We want justice, for Maya, for the children in Jakarta, for everyone you've destroyed. So kill me and be done with it." "Oh, we're not going to kill you," Lira smiled. "That would be mercy. You marked me for death, remember? I marked you for something worse." She nodded to Oren, who projected images onto the warehouse walls. Thousands of files, photos, documents. "Every crime you've ever committed is now in the hands of law enforcement in 7 countries, Lira explained. "The FBI, Interpol, Scotland Yard, all of it. Names, dates. Evidence, your entire empire exposed." "You'll go to trial," Kade added. "Public trial, every victim will testify, every crime will be documented. You'll spend the rest of your life in a cell watching your legacy burn." "But before that," Senna said, "you're going to do something for us." They handed him a phone and a script. "Call every person you've ever blackmailed," Lira ordered. "Confess, apologize, set them free, all of them." Novik stared at the phone. "And if I refuse?" "Then we release everything to the media immediately, along with your location, and let your enemies find you first. We've already contacted the Kozlov Syndicate, the Delgado Cartel, and about 15 other organizations you've betrayed over the years. They're all very interested in your whereabouts." Novik's hands shook as he took the phone. It took him 4 hours to make all the calls. 4 hours of confessions, apologies, and the systematic destruction of his life's work. When he finished, Lira took the phone back. "The police will be here in 10 minutes, she said. "We've already provided them with everything they need to convict you. You'll die in prison, forgotten and despised. Your name will become synonymous with corruption and cruelty. Every person you've hurt will know justice. That's your fate, Novik, not death, something worse." They left him there, surrounded by the evidence of his crimes, waiting for the inevitable. Outside, as sirens approached in the distance, Kade turned to Lira. "Is it enough? Does it balance the scales?" "Nothing balances those scales," Lira said quietly. "Maya's still dead. Those children are still gone, but maybe we stopped him from creating more victims. Maybe that's enough." "What now?" Senna asked. "Now we disappear," Lira said. "New identities, new lives. Novik had plenty of enemies. Some of them might come looking for us." "Or," Tessa suggested, "we could continue what we started. There are more people like Novik out there, more monsters who think they're untouchable." Rhett smiled. "I like that idea." Kade looked at each of them, these damaged, dangerous people who'd become something like family. They'd all been marked for death. They'd all survived. "Then let's make a new mark," he said, "on everyone who thinks they're above justice." Lira's amber eyes gleamed in the darkness. "I can work with that." They walked away as police cars flooded the warehouse district, leaving Novik to face the justice he'd avoided for 30 years. He'd marked them for death. They'd marked him for something far worse: truth, exposure, and the slow destruction of everything he'd built. In the end, it wasn't mercy. But it was justice. And sometimes that was enough.
Thank you for watching. Every story leaves something behind. Fragmented Rain is where the next one begins. New stories every week. Please subscribe for more.